Hey guys, what is going on? It's me, BakuriBox12 here, and welcome back to another Realm of the Mad God Exalt video. It's gonna take a while to get used to saying that. But yes, after that short 24-hour delay, the supporter beta of RotMG's Unity port is finally here, and long story short, it's pretty great. Obviously, there are plenty of bugs to address and fine-tunings to the UI, but after no more than half an hour, I felt like I was playing Realm again. No gimmicks attached, no awkwardness. It truly felt like a generally enhanced version of the game I've been playing all these years. Installation is super easy too. They give you some recommended system requirements. If you're a browser player, it's a simple download of the new launcher, and all Steam users have to do is right-click on the game in their libraries, click Properties, go to the Betas tab, select Exalt, download the update in seconds, and you're ready to go. The first thing that caught me by surprise was the lack of a main menu. You're thrown right into the Nexus after startup, meaning that there is no back to home button, which was a minor annoyance when maxing characters in the vault. Before, you would put potions away, hit back to home, pick a different class, and walk back into the vault. Now, there's a small extra step of needing to leave the vault, go switch your character up by the knights, then return. It's not a big deal by any means, but it is less efficient, even if only a little. I'd prefer it if we could switch characters while inside the vault and avoid that short trip entirely. And while we're on the topic of maxing, because of how the new UI is set up, if you have your stats tab open, every time you click it, it'll close. So you can't view your stats while clicking to drink potions and see how many you need left. The UI as a whole seems to be a point of contention. The one issue I have is that a lot of the items aren't scaled properly. They're either off-center, too small, or the black outline is inconsistent, being too thin or too thick on one side. In regards to the UI orientation, I'd say if all else fails, give us the ability to toggle between the new and the old one. It actually kind of reminds me of Realm's UI back in 2010, and well, clearly we see the evolution of that. So even if not everybody is on board with it now, it can only get better through feedback. Controls and hotkeys are pretty identical to the Flash defaults, although my character was already off-center with screen rotation enabled, and I plan to keep it that way. Escape is the new default options key, and right-click is for using your ability. I switched that back to spacebar almost immediately out of fear, but then someone convinced me to give right-click a shot, and now they're about even for me. It certainly balances the left to right hand input ratio a little more, but after 8 years of playing a game a certain way, I still habitually hit that spacebar. The menus themselves look pretty clean. I like the new text font, and everything is categorized competently. There aren't as many tabs to confuse new players. And since the old main menu is gone, you switch servers from this new menu by hitting escape, alongside options, legends, etc. But the character change is still in the Nexus, as I pointed out, but with a new in-game overlay. Looks nice. I also really like how hovering over each subcategory in the options gives you a short description of what it does. That's gonna be helpful. Visually speaking, the game looks identical to Flash outside of the UI changes, but with extra flair spliced in every now and then. Menus have smooth transitions, hovering over prompts gives a highlight effect, players that spawn in have a light beam animation, damage and XP text bounces in, I saw shadowy mist cover the switches in the cursed library, gods now have new sprites when facing the other direction, Lotl has a completely new sprite for one of its phases, and of course, the game now runs in full screen. For anyone who is skeptical about the look of this, viewing footage of full screen versus actually playing the game in full screen are completely different. You might hate the way it looks on video, but I guarantee you will come to love it in-game. You have such a better sense of your surroundings with this larger field of view, and it makes encounters like the Rock Dragon, which used to be a scary guessing game of when he was gonna railroad you, into a battle where you can make accurate predictions since the whole arena is in sight. I feel like I can move around freely without worrying about something jumping out and killing me. What I don't like is the blocky spotlight that choppily follows you around, and this is something I knew about back whenever it was teased. It's not so bad in dungeons where there's already a lot of black, but in the main realm, it just looks like there's a lot of space being unused. Not to mention, sprites only load within that spotlight, so enemies are abruptly popping in all the time where they used to gracefully walk into frame. I don't mean to sound condescending, but I thought the whole point of going full screen was to fill the whole screen with content. I'm sure there are technical reasons for this, but as it is now, while I appreciate the better sense of direction relative to my surroundings, it feels like we're playing with the same draw distance and field of view as Flash, only zoomed out, and we're not utilizing enough of the new space that we have. Now, interestingly, you can zoom the camera in 2 times. Once to get a perspective akin to what we're used to, and twice to be unplayable. The first one is a little too zoomed in to be comparable to classic Realm, but if they were able to replicate it here, I think it would make a great alternative for players who aren't ready to make the jump into full screen. Aside from that, the game does run great. I haven't suffered from too many lag or frame rate issues ever since I built my PC, but from what I've heard, the game does run better than before and can handle more stuff on screen at one time. Ironically, I did notice the frame rate drop a tiny bit on and off the whole time I was playing, but it was so subtle that I couldn't tell if my eyes were playing tricks on me or if it was something on my end, so I'm gonna keep that one in check. In regards to bugs and glitches, I know I haven't even scratched the surface, but these are a few that I did encounter. When fighting the Lotl and Esbin, the sound effects of everybody hitting the boss broke at a point and got really quiet. Like it was trying to make more sound and just couldn't. It was quite comical, actually. Also, I had the ally shoot tab already set to off, but I could still see and hear everyone shooting. Not sure what that's about. The HP bars of a nest colony flipped backwards one time. Loot bags were dropping a few frames before its respective boss died. I got this weird glitch where my pet's stat tab wouldn't go away until I entered a portal. There was also a lot of crashing. I couldn't even get to Oryx, sadly. And this one isn't a Unity exclusive issue, but I really hope that they fix the Golden Sphinx from insta-killing people. Not a pretty picture. Lastly, I want to talk about the sound design. Sound effects are the same as always, although I can't tell if they're more compressed than usual or if that's because we're comparing 10-year-old sounds most likely in mono to a high-quality soundtrack in stereo, which, by the way, is fantastic. I think we sometimes forget how effective music can be on our enjoyment of a game. The OST is still a work in progress, so a lot of dungeons have the same placeholder theme, but the stuff that we do have is elating. The Vault, Sprite World, Lost Halls, and Oryx's Castle, those are some good tunes. Some of the transitions between tracks are a little rough, like going from the realm to the Sprite World is kind of jarring. A simple fade in and out would remedy that right away. Overall, though, I am pleased with this beta, and there are far less issues than I expected there to be. I'm looking forward to the remainder of this testing period. I have a few pre-recorded videos on Classic Realms, so you'll see me alternate between RotMG and RotMG Exalt in the coming weeks. Just giving you a heads up on that. But until then, I'm going to leave you with a few minutes of raw footage for the players who can't access beta. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, don't forget to check out the next episode whenever I post it, which will probably be soon. Alright. See ya.